Hey, let's quickly go through what is Microsoft Foundry. Microsoft Foundry is a unified Azure platform as a service offering for enterprise AI operations, model builders, and application developments. This foundation combines production grade infrastructure with friendly interfaces, enabling developers to focus on building application rather than managing infrastructure. Microsoft Foundry unifies agents, models, and tools under a single management grouping with built-in enterprise readiness capabilities, including tracing, monitoring, evaluations, and customizable enterprise setup configurations. The platform provides streamlined management through unified role-based access control, networking, and policies under one resource provider namespace. Under one Azure resource provider namespace. Tip: coming from Azure OpenAI, upgrade your Azure OpenAI resource to a Foundry resource while preserving your endpoint, API keys, and existing state. Using hub-based projects, I'm not sure what hub-based project is. Hub-based projects accessible in Foundry Classic portal. So that is Foundry Classics basically means an older version of it. New investments are focused on Foundry projects in the new portal. New investments, I'm not sure what they mean by new investment either, but probably some new projects they are going with the Foundry projects. Evolution of Foundry. Foundry consolidates several previous Azure AI services and tools into a unified platform. The following table maps previous concepts to their equivalents for detailed guidance. Okay, I didn't understand that. Foundry consolidates several previous AI Azure service tools into a unified platform. That's okay. The following table maps previous concepts to their equivalents. Okay, previous concepts. So if you have known, if you have done, now it's a new terminology is used. For detailed guidance on transitioning, see navigate from classic to the new experience. Let's expand it. So from the perspective of brand, earlier it was called Azure AI Studio, Azure AI Foundry. Now it's just Microsoft Foundry. And again, from the brand perspective, Azure AI Services is now called as Foundry Tools. Portal. So if you are doing examination of Azure AI Services, now it's Foundry Tools. Probably the examination name also might change. So Foundry is basically Azure AI Services, all those stuff. It's a new word. Portal, earlier it's Foundry, it's also Foundry. Agents API, earlier it was Assistance API, now it's called as Responses API. API versioning, you have a monthly API versions params. Now it's just version 1 route tables. Like probably they are using graphic thing, but I am not sure. If you're using version 1, it's probably the rest, I guess. Resource model, Hub, Azure OpenAI, Azure AI Services, Foundry resource, single with projects. So resource model, I'm not sure what resource model is. Probably they are called like Azure OpenAI is a resource model. Azure AI Services also comes out of that. Hub, I'm not sure. I saw that Hub project earlier as well. I'm not sure what Hub means. Foundry resource, single with projects, SDKs. Okay. So SDKs and endpoints, multiple packages. So SDKs and endpoints, earlier it was multiple packages. You had several packages in earlier. You have Azure AI Inference, you have Azure AI Generative, you have Azure AI ML, then you have Azure API, OpenAI API against 5 endpoints. Now it's just a unified project client. It's just called Azure AI Projects plus Azure OpenAI, just one endpoint. So earlier we used terminology like threads, messages, runs, assistant. Now they are called conversations. Probably threads are called conversation now. Messages is items, runs is responses, and agent version is probably assistants. So here also, as we can see, assistant is changed into responses. I'm not sure I mapped them correctly, but these are the new terms. Okay, we are done with that. Your first API call. Get started with quick. If you want, you can go in here, start building it, or you can create all this stuff. There is a send a prompt and get a response from a model in few lines of code. So here as you can see, you are importing from Azure Identity, then default Azure credential. You are importing that. Then AI project client from Azure AI.projects. Uh, so as we saw here, did we so yeah, project clients, projects. So projects, you're getting the AI project client, you're getting the project endpoint. So the format is something like HTTPS resource name and Azure AI Azure.com API projects project name again. So project endpoint is like that. You create a project OpenAI clients to call Foundry. So you create a project and OpenAI clients. So okay, to call Foundry API. So this is how your AI project client, you're using that, you're passing the credentials and you're creating a project, uh, something like this. Then from project you call a method called get OpenAI client, and then you are getting the OpenAI. From then OpenAI you can actually create uh, the response. So here you are passing the model name and the input, which is the prompt. What is the size of France in square miles? That's pretty, yes, square miles. And the response, you can print it out like this, response dot output text. So it's coming from a property called output text. For the full walkthrough, see the Microsoft Foundry quick start. If you want, you can skip to that part. Available models. Foundry gives you access to over 1900 models from Microsoft, OpenAI, Anthropic, Mistral, XAI, Meta, DeepSeek, Hugging Facebook, Hugging Face, and more. The following table highlights popular families to help you choose a starting point. So if you're not sure of what to choose, you can actually have a starting point. So you have the model family, which is GPT-5. What is it capable? What is its best for? It is most capable complex reasoning. So if you are complex reasoning, you are performing a multi-step task and multimodal scenarios like image generation, you can go for GPT-5. GPT 4.1 best balance of capability and cost for production workloads. So if you are worried about balance between these two, you are worried about the cost, you can go for 4.1. 4.1 Winnie is the fastest, low latency, high throughput scenarios. So if you want something fast, you can go for 4.1 Mini. So Claude, advanced reasoning, code generation, and multimodal task. If you are into code, if you're more into code, you can use Claude. It has advanced reasoning, it has code generation, and it of course has multimodal tasks as well. Grok, reasoning, coding, and data extraction, you can use Grok. Mistral, code generation, again multilingual. So Mistral is multilingual. Keep that in mind. If you want something multilingual, you can go for Mistral. And general purpose chat, it's just general purpose. DeepSeek R1, open weight reasoning at scale. I'm not sure what open weight reasoning means. I'm not actually so sure. But I know as far as DeepSeek is, it reasons out. You might have seen there is a tab called thinking, and it's if you ask a prompt and it reasons out how it's going to derive the answer. That's basically probably open weight reasoning is that. FE4, I have never heard of it. Small language model on device or resource constrained environments. Okay, if you have a resource constrained environment, you can actually go for FE4. MetaLlama, of course, the open models, customization and fine tuning. If you know that, you can use MetaLlama. That's the available models. For help choosing between models, see GPT-5 versus GPT 4.1 model choice guide. Browse a full catalog in Foundry models overview. You can go there and do that. What's new? Foundry is evolving fast. Here are some of the latest additions. Model routing with responses API. Use a single API to route to any model automatically or by name. So you just use a single API and you can route basically means switch between, I guess, automatically or by name. You can just switch model routing without response API. A2A agents endpoints preview. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. Expose agents as agent to agent endpoints so other agents can discover and call them. Okay, agent to agent. So you can actually, okay. So that's you expose an API that is accessible by another agent. So agents to agents. So other agents can discover and call them. So if your agent is also creating an endpoint, agent endpoints. Install instant models. preview. Call any supported model by name without creating a deployment first. Okay, you're not deploying it anything, you can just call it. I'm not sure the deployment part yet, but just go with it. Voice agents. Build voice enabled agents with hosted agents. I'm not sure what is hosted agents, probably hosted in production, but we are also talking about all the production things here. Routines. Automate multi-step agent workflows with reusable routines. Okay, I am not sure about the workflows, agent workflows and all, so I cannot actually exactly say what they mean by this reusable routines. I'm not sure. Fabric IQ connects agents to Fabric, Microsoft Fabric data. Connects agents to Microsoft Fabric data. I'm not sure, I'm not aware of the product Microsoft Fabric, so I can't say that. Work IQ connect agents to Microsoft 365 content. So that is one thing that I can compare with. See what's new in Microsoft Foundry for full list. Okay, choose your path. Foundry supports multiple developer surfaces. Use the following table to find the right starting point for your scenario. So it's a unified platform for all the AI services. So it has multiple paths, of course, because there is multiple services here that you're using. So call a model from code. So if you're doing that, quick start. Okay, so you can, these are just the links. So quick start for your first API call. Build an agent with tools and memory. Build an agent with tools and memory. Something that calls something memory. So that you have to go and see the agent service overview. Explore models in the browser, Foundry portal playgrounds. You can go there and play with it. Deploy and manage models at scale. Explore models in browser, Foundry model playgrounds. Deploy and manage models at scale. Foundry models overview. Develop in VS Code. Foundry for VS Code. Setup, governance and security. You can go to the Foundry control plane. So you can do that. So who is Foundry for? Microsoft Foundry serves three primary audience. Application developers. So if you're an application developer, Foundry is for you. Building an AI powered products with agents, models and tools. Start with a quick start, okay? You can always go with that. ML engineers and data scientists who fine tune models, run evaluations and manage model deployments. So if you're an ML engineer who wants to fine tune your model, you can use Microsoft Foundry. IT administrators and platform engineers who govern AI resources, enforce policies, and manage access across teams. See security and governance and the AI Foundry control plane. So if you're an admin, you have something called AI Foundry control plane that you can use to manage those stuff. So application developers, ML engineers, and an IT and admin. Three, you can do that. Is where the Microsoft Foundry is for. Key capabilities. So what are the key capabilities of Microsoft Foundry? Build agents, multi-agent orchestration, build collaborative agent behavior and complex workflow executing using SDKs for C# and Python. So currently they only accept, I guess, C# and Python. Python is basically used for all the AI tasks, so I think that's there. Tool catalog. Connect over 1,400 tools through public and private catalogs. I'm not sure what catalog means, but I know what tools are, like probably anything simple as a DB is a tool. Memory, retain and recall contextual information across interactions without requiring repeated input. Okay, this is very cool. So if you have a memory, you don't have to, you can actually recall throughout the chats. So you have a chat tabs in the ChatGPT or whatever that you're using. You can actually go through, like there's a memory, so you can actually ask to roast it. It will roast you because based on the memory. Foundry IQ knowledge integration. Ground agent response in enterprise or web content with citation backed answers. Foundry IQ knowledge integration. Ground agent responses in enterprise or web content with citation backed answers. So if you ask something, it will actually give you with a citation. This is where I got this results from. Publishing. Publish agents to Microsoft 365, Teams, BizChat, or containerized deployments. You can actually publish your agents. So build agents, publish agents. Agents have memory. Operate and govern. Real-time observability. Monitor performance and governance with built-in metrics and models tracking. Centralize AI asset management. Manage all agents, models, and tools from the operate section, including agents registered from other clouds. Okay, you can actually monitor everything. AI asset management. Enterprise controls, full authentication support for MCP, agent to agent, AI gateway integration, and Azure policy integration. Full authentication support for MCP and AI gateway integration, and Azure policy integration, and Azure policy integration, and Azure policy integration, Azure policy integration. Enterprise controls, full authentication for supports for MCP and A2A, AI gateway integration, and Azure policy integration. And Azure policy integration. Microsoft Foundry API and SDKs. The Microsoft Foundry provides a consistent contract for building agentic applications across different models. Okay. Enterprise controls, full authentication for MCP and A2A, AI gateway integration, and Azure policy integration. Enterprise controls, full authentication support for MCP and agent to agent, okay, controls, AI gateway integration, and Azure policy integration. Okay, these everything is done in this operate and govern. You can actually, these are the features. Microsoft Foundry APIs and SDKs. The Microsoft Foundry APIs provides a consistent contract for building agentic application across different models providers. SDK clients libraries are available for Python, C#, JavaScript, TypeScript, JavaScript preview. Preview, I think, I guess they are meaning the beta versions, I guess. The Microsoft Foundry for VS Code extension helps you explore models and develop agents directly in your development environment. Okay. Foundry portal. The Microsoft Foundry portal is where you manage projects, deploy models, and build agents, and monitor your AI assets. To use the current version, make sure the new Foundry toggle in the banner is set to on. Okay, new Foundry, click it. See the find features in the Foundry portal if you are used to Foundry Classic portal and not sure where to find things now. For details on switching between projects or finding resources created in Foundry Classic, see find features in Foundry portal. Pricing and billing, which is kind of important in this AI era because cost is one of the things that you have to manage if you're having a AI feature or AI things in your organization. Pricing and billings. The platform is free to use and explore. Pricing occurs at the deployments level. The platform is free to use and explore. Pricing occurs at deployment level. Each product with Foundry, models, agents, tools has its own billing and price. Using Foundry also incurs cost with underlying services. To learn more, think about it. The platform is free to use and explore. Pricing occurs at deployment level. Each product with Foundry, models, agents, tools has its own billing model and price. The platform is free to use and explore. Okay, the platform is free to use and explore. Pricing occurs at deployment level. Each product within Foundry, models, agents, tools has its own billing model and price. Using Foundry also incurs cost associated with underlying. Okay, sure. I'm just zoning out here a bit, so I just went somewhere, but I'll come back. Pricing and billing. The platform is free to use and explore. You can use and explore. Pricing occurs at the deployment level. Each product within Foundry, models, agents, tools has its own billing model and price. So you can actually use it for free, but only when you deploy these things happens. Using Foundry also incurs costs associated with the underlying services. To learn more, okay, then they mention, hey, it's free to use, but then guys, using Foundry also incurs cost associated with the underlying services. To learn more, read, plan, and manage host. So it's better you read this. This is one of the important thing because you can think about it, but then you are going to get. Use total economic impact for Foundry to estimate your return on investment. You can do that. Region availability. Foundry is available in most regions where Foundry tools are available. For more, most regions, not every region then. For more information, see region support for Microsoft Foundry. How to get access? You need an Azure account, of course, then sign into the Microsoft Foundry. Related content, you can get started with Microsoft Foundry. They provide that. Set up your Foundry resources, instant models in Microsoft Foundry, create a project. Get started with the AI template, use Microsoft Foundry skills in coding agents, Okay. What's new in Microsoft Foundry documentation? The author created this article with assistance from AI. Cool. Yes, was very easy to understand. I'm going to submit it. Thank you for your valuable feedback. Cool. So this is for today. I'll come up with the next ones. So what is Microsoft Foundry's? Okay. This is the second page. We'll go through this next.